The United Nations has declared war on conspiracy theories, describing the rise of conspiracy thinking as worrying and dangerous, while stating that conspiracy theories about Klaus Schwab's World Economic Forum must be scrubbed from the internet, and the perpetrators behind the conspiracies must be silenced. The UN also warns that George Soros, the Rothschilds, and the State of Israel must not be linked to what the globalists refer to as alleged conspiracies. Before we dive in, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and join the People's Voice Locals community for exclusive and uncensored content. The link is below this video. We have long been warning that the World Economic Forum and the globalist elites are reanimated Nazis who have rebranded and regrouped, and are now pursuing the same goals as the Third Reich, and committing the same crimes against humanity. Klaus Schwab's father was a high-ranking Nazi official, as were multiple members of European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen's family. And don't forget, George Soros is a literal Nazi collaborator. The global elite are now so arrogant they're not even trying to hide their tracks anymore. Klaus Schwab is on the record boasting about infiltrating the Canadian government. He wasn't joking. This week, the WF puppets in the Canadian Parliament took their masks off and gave a standing ovation to a confirmed Nazi SS soldier. Meanwhile, in the UK, the state has ordered the police to begin arresting citizens who get fact-checked on social media for the crime of spreading so-called conspiracy theories about the globalist elite. Never mind the fact that fact-checkers are mostly untrained and unqualified hacks performing so-called fact-checks from the comfort of their bedroom in between posting far-left political content on personal blogs and getting high. Make no mistake, Klaus Schwab's order to world governments to accelerate Agenda 2030 and crack down on conspiracy theorists is being taken seriously in WF-infiltrated countries. During a UN meeting in New York City last week, Secretary General Antonio Guterres admitted that Agenda 2030 is under threat because the people of the world are rejecting it in droves. In other words, we are winning. The New World Order is failing, and the global elites are in a panic. So it's no surprise the UN is rolling out its most coercive plan to date, to control the thoughts of humanity and punish anybody who stands in their way. After this quick break, we will expose the UN and WF's plans to criminalise so-called conspiracy theories and lobotomise the global population. But first, an important word from our sponsor. MyPillow's range of products are all designed to give you the very best night's sleep of your life every damn night. No more waking up with a stiff neck. The MyPillow cooling technology will also help keep you cool the whole night through. It truly is the longest lasting and best pillow you'll ever own. And Mike Lindell is giving viewers of The People's Voice huge discounts on all of the awesome MyPillow products in his store. Visit mypillow.com/TPV and use promo code TPV at the checkout. Purchasing these American-made products helps support our show. And as a thank you, you'll also receive a free gift by using the promo code TPV. Visit mypillow.com/TPV now, or call 1-800-923-1845 and use promo code TPV. That's 1-800-923-1845 and promo code TPV to get your free gift and to take advantage of the massive discount. The UN wants you to know that events are not secretly manipulated behind the scenes by powerful forces with negative intent. And if you encounter anybody who thinks the global elite are conspiring to consolidate power and dictate global events, you must take action. The United Nations has provided the public with a toolkit to pre-bunk and debunk anybody who dares to suggest that world governments are anything but completely honest, upstanding, and transparent. According to UNESCO, if you are certain that you've encountered a conspiracy theory on the internet, then you must react immediately and post a link to a fact-checking website in the comments. UNESCO also provided advice for anybody who encounters a real-life conspiracy theorist in the flesh. According to the UN agency, you must not under any circumstances be lured into an argument with a conspiracy theorist. Any argument must be taken as proof that you are part of the conspiracy and reinforce that belief, and the conspiracy theorist will probably argue hard to defend their beliefs. Instead, you must show them empathy and avoid ridiculing them, and then you must report them to social media and contact your local national press council or press ombudsman. Make no mistake, the globalist elite are panicking. Remarkably, hidden in the fine print, UNESCO admit that conspiracy theories do exist. Under the heading, "What is a real conspiracy?" the United Nations bureaucrats explain that real conspiracies, large and small, do exist. But according to the UN, it's only a real conspiracy theory if it's unearthed by the mainstream media. They are more often centered on single self-contained events. They are unearthed by whistleblowers and the media, using verifiable facts and evidence. There is just one problem with the UN's definition of a real conspiracy theory. The media has been fully bought and paid for by the elite, and it's the elite who are conspiring against the masses. Ever heard of Operation Mockingbird? In the 1960s, you'd get called a conspiracy theorist if you dared to suggest that the CIA was spying on journalists and controlling the mainstream media. In reality, this is exactly what was happening. Now we know that Operation Mockingbird was a CIA operation that spied on members of the Washington Press Corps in 1963, 1972, and 1973. They also paid journalists to publish CIA propaganda. Wiretapping of US citizens is against CIA code, but this is what they did. How do we know about this? Mockingbird was uncovered by the Church Committee after the Watergate scandal. John F. Kennedy secretly recorded Operation Mockingbird conversations in the Oval Office, and now they are part of the presidential recordings. So, sure, we should be trusting everything the media and fact-checkers say, right? It's not like they have a history of being manipulated by shadowy three-letter agencies and the global elite, right? But that was the 60s and 70s, and everything has gotten worse since then. In 2013, Obama signed legislation that repealed the US Information and Educational Exchange Act of 1948, also known as the Smith-Mundt Act. Why is this important? The Smith-Mundt Act was a so-called anti-propaganda law that prevented the US government's mammoth broadcasting arm from delivering programming to American audiences. But on July 2nd, 2013, Obama quietly and deceitfully changed the law, meaning that the US government and the CIA could legally propagandize US citizens. Strangely, the mainstream media don't like to acknowledge this fact, but it suits government agencies and the United Nations down to the ground. Of course, they will tell you to place blind trust in the mainstream media and fact-checkers, regardless of how many times they get proved wrong time and time again. Hunter Biden's laptop from hell, anybody? It took the media more than a year to admit that it was a real thing. For a whole year, the media was telling us that the laptop story was Russian disinformation, and fact-checkers were censoring social media, scrubbing it clean of any trace of the laptop from hell story, for fear that it would damage Biden Sr.'s presidential run. In 1998, Noam Chomsky co-authored a book with Edward Herman called Manufacturing Consent. It blasted apart the notion that the mainstream media informs the public and serves the public, so that we can better engage in the political process. In fact, the mainstream media manufactures our consent. It spreads propaganda from their paymasters, the three-letter agencies and global elites, so that we fall in line. Democracy is staged with the help of the mainstream media, which works as a propaganda machine. Mainstream media is not a check on power. The very system requires complicity. Governments, corporations, global institutions like the United Nations, they know how to play the media game. They know how to control the news narrative. And they know how to manipulate and control the masses. They feed official scoops, official accounts and interviews with so-called experts. They breed fear because fear breeds compliance. If you want to challenge power, you'll be pushed to the margins. The CIA invented the term conspiracy theorist in the 1950s in order to denigrate those who dare to ask questions outside of the box and challenge the corrupt system. The United Nations war on conspiracy theorists is more of the same. They want to shame those among us who dare to ask questions and question the official narrative. Ask yourself, when was the last time the media unearthed a conspiracy? Also ask yourself, when was the last time the media covered up a conspiracy? The list is endless. Here at The People's Voice, we are determined to continue exposing the crimes of the elites, but we need your help. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, share this video far and wide, and join the People's Voice Locals community for exclusive and uncensored content from our community. I hope to see you there.